everybody. I'm Bran, and I love Knives Out.
I'm Brian. I like Knives Out, but I also love it.
I'm Dan. I love Knives Out, and the second one's good too. And I despise Hallmark mystery movies. And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody.
I was confused. For a second, I thought we were actually going to review Knives. I was like, Knives Out.
I mean, we might as well.
We may as well.
With today's movie. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know what's fun about living in South Carolina? In
much.
Greenville, particularly, because this is Greenville. Is whenever the weather changes, it never changes for long.
No.
And it will flip-flop. And we're in the flip-flop time of the year. It's time for the flip-flop time of the year.
As we call it down here, fake fall.
It always just kicks the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I'm always just a mess.
You wake up, it's 58, it's crisp, and then by 4 p.m., it's 85 degrees.
And it's almost like our bodies weren't made for that.
No.
Our bodies just don't have
27 degrees.
They don't know what to do. Our bodies are like, I'm trying, but you're goofing it up.
You know what drives me nuts? What's your body sound like again? One more time. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to goof it.
Sounds old.
He does. Sounds like an old curmudgeon in there.
Which accurate.
It's all the Papa John's.
Yeah.
The thing that low key drives me the most nuts about this is that it gets just cool enough at night to where my air conditioning isn't running and my heat isn't running, and it's just stagnant, and I don't sleep well. Like I wake up. I feel like I feel it really warm. Like I feel like I need the AC going, but it's not cold enough to where I'm starting to feel cold and need the heat going. Yeah. And it's my least favorite time of the year to sleep. I'm doing a sleeping podcast later, guys. It's going to be awesome. You want to see my impression?
Go.
I was just thinking, how's this going to go?
How's your body sound?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I still think I got a lot of life left in me, but I don't.
The inside of your body's a stand-up comedian.
I'm cautiously optimistic for no reason at all.
Yeah. See, that's the difference between your body. My body knows the end is near. Yeah. Your body is still tricking itself.
I've got a few more decades
my body
left.
gets it. My body's like, what's even the point? What's the point of any of it? Brian, though, Brian's body. What's Brian's body sound like?
He thinks he's going to live to be 1,000 because he doesn't eat
sexy for my shirt.
Living a blue zone here in Greenville. Yeah,
this is Greenville.
Well, this is living.
This is living, and this is Greenville.
That's right.
Why do they call it a blue zone?
I don't know. I started this documentary. I don't know why.
Mystery Island originally aired on September 29th because 30 is December and twice on February
every other
half days.
February,
and it went a little something like this. A bunch of
Dan, don't say another word.
A bunch of rich folks are at a mansion on an island doing a murder mystery party. You might call it Mystery Island. You might.
A great name.
You might if you want to.
Sure.
Rig, how you doing, bud?
Ooh, is he?
Rig?
He's not into this.
We'll have to turn his mic on later. We'll try to fix. We'll fix it. He's on Mystery Island. Wow.
Oh boy.
We'll try to pipe him in later.
Yeah.
We then meet London police psychiatrist Dr. Amelia Priestley,
Come on
who
down.
needs a break from interviewing baddies that are making threats on her family. Her friend, Baroness Jane, says you should go to Mystery Island.
Baroness.
I'm a Baroness. I invested in this island. Come on. So she agrees, and off they go. When they arrive, they see a picture on the wall of all the investors, including Andrew Walker and Tyler Hines, that have invested into this island over the years. So they're given a riddle, and then basically they're set to try to figure out what this riddle could possibly mean. And the riddle is basically just hickory dickory dock.
That's right. Great riddle.
And so what am I supposed to do with that? Baroness and Emily end up finding a secret passageway behind a bookcase. And they start heading up these stairs into a hidden office. They look outside on the porch, and they see a couple bodies. One is of the butler, who has an eye patch.
You did it.
And the next is somebody who just looks like he's like the help. Like, what's going on with this guy?
What's he doing up there?
And Amelia quickly realizes that one of the bodies is actually really dead. It's the help guy. He's got a fake nose. They realize that he's like the big man. He's the head honcho. someone killed the head honcho. So the police come, they start investigating, and naturally Amelia offers up her special set of skills to assist in the investigation. Amelia wasn't an investor on the island, and so naturally all the other investors that are there are suspicious of her, and they're going to try to make it, even if she's not in on the murder, they're going to try to make it seem that way. She overhears someone named Phoenix plotting to frame the murder on her. Jane is also, her buddy Jane, remember her? She's also doing some snooping around of her own, thinks a guy named Jay did it. She searches Jay's room, finds nothing, so he's in the clear. Might as well work together. Amelia and Detective Trent tells Detective Trent what she heard Phoenix say about her. And also, hey, big news, the fingerprints came back, and apparently Phoenix's fingerprints are on the thing, and so must be her. She has motive too. It turns out that she threatened him for breaking up with her. They were a thing, and now they're not. So Phoenix is arrested and thrown in a storage room, the most secure of all the locations. In what I would say is a lapse of judgment, I don't know, Detective Trent decides that he's going to just start macking on Amelia. They're like hanging out, they're walking on the beach in our bare feet, and they end up finding another body. What?
You've said macking 3 times today. I want to be very clear.
Well, I said it the other 2 times because I wrote it down and it was fresh on my mind.
Macking. Got it.
Macking. After some chatter, Jane and that other guy, Jay, think they know who done it based off of the Hickory Dickory Dock. You know how Hickory Dickory Dock actually means Hassa Hassa Dick. Whatever it is, I don't know.
This podcast is G.
I know.
Brand.
They think that
Hassa has a dick.
They think that it was a couple on the island that have the motive.
Did you say horse?
Rick, your mic's working. Rick, we checked in with you earlier. You weren't there. Are you okay?
1, 2. You turned it off.
I wouldn't.
You savage bee.
Why would I call on you if I was turning your mic off?
That's a little joke you're playing. You didn't call nobody.
Interesting. You're gonna listen back.
Somebody blindfolded me in my booth. I couldn't even see my cigarettes.
No.
Don't smoke, children.
Looks like you found him, though. Anyway, Amelia and Trent say, not so fast. That's not what happened at all. Turns out...
That's Hassa Hassa Dick.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Turns out they...
Fluent over there.
Their theory is that head honcho killed himself because he had terminal cancer. But he did it in such a way to make it look like he was murdered as a sort of revenge on the investors that were trying to take over the island. So that's fun. So yay, everybody's free to leave. No one did anything wrong. The other woman who died, that was a mistake. That was just a Tripsy Go Daisies. So everybody's clear to go. And one of the rich dudes offers Amelia and Trent a job to write the mysteries. And don't worry, they can just do it on the weekends. And also, here's a bunch of money to do so. And that, my friends, was Mystery Island. Knives Out.
Did it.
We did do it. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. Hello, welcome back. We're talking about Mystery Island, a.k.a. Hallmark's Knives Out. And it's time to break this movie down. We're going to start with the hot take. It's where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. Brian, what'd you think, bud?
Yeah, I was looking forward to this.
Yes.
Classic whodunit. This is going to be fun. This is going to be different. And I liked it, most of it. Basically up until the end. I'm sure we'll all have similar feelings here. The whole build up to the end was really fun. Really cool stuff happening. The secret passageway, all this stuff happening. Great. I just felt a little manipulated at the end with...
Just a little.
A little manipulation. Like, I didn't know there was a drone controller. Did we know there was a drone?
They mentioned the drone controller once, and they say, where's the drone?
Okay, I missed that early on. I just felt like this came out of sort of a little bit almost nowhere. But... my big takeaway was what a way to go. Like, if you have a terminal disease, this is how you do it. Like, you plan a murder mission.
This is how you do it.
That's right. It's Friday night. You plan something out where you frame your good friends for murdering you.
Can I ask you guys a quick question?
Please
this is totally unrelated, but do you know of any buddy or any location
Yeah.
or anything like that does it like no one else?
South Central.
Really?
Yeah.
They do.
They do it like no
The
one
party's,
else?
the party's over there on the west side.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And they're doing it like no one.
That's right. Do you have a 40?
Oh, you've gone too far for me to play with this game.
Too far down.
Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. So that's how you do it, folks. If you have a terminal disease, you plan
Can't
out.
step out there with Montel Jordan and act
Sorry.
like you can't.
Sorry.
Can't hang.
Come on, man.
Sorry,
Return of the
everyone.
Mac or something.
Sheesh. Yeah.
Turn up Mackin.
So, yeah, they did not like the way it went, but a lot of things overall, I had a good time and I'm going to keep this in the back of my mind. If a terminal
Clock it.
disease comes up, I'm going to bank it, and if something happens to me, I'm going to make some plans, and
you're
you
gonna
guys are
murder
going to
us.
have a good time.
Cool.
I'm going to frame at least one of you.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, hopefully it all works out for us like
Yeah.
it did in this one.
Brian, this or the Venice movie?
Oh,
This is absurd.
come on.
The fact that you've taken this long is patently absurd.
When you say the Venice one, all I'm thinking about is just the food and how
And the
fun it is
walking
to
and the
cook
cooking and the walking.
But yeah, obviously this one.
yeah, okay,
obviously.
okay, thank you.
But I do like the idea. We've talked about this. I like the idea.
Yeah.
Immersive cooking show. Anyway.
So it was okay. We read the synopsis during the previous show. We were like, this is Knives Out, The Deuce, Glass Onion. Like, this is the same plot. And I think the one thing, like, watching this movie is realizing, one, in case you thought that just anyone could do Knives Out, you're wrong. Like, Knives Out is so special and so great. But also, like, Blanc is so important to Knives Out, and that's we were missing in this movie a character like that. Like, we have this detective, and the detective just ends up macking on Amelia, and it's like,
There it is.
like I wanted a character, I wanted a Blanc, and so maybe that's my fault going into this being like, oh, this is a Knives Out ripoff, and just wanting it to actually lean into it all the way and give us not the same thing, but like a character that is fun and has like super just like weird things about him that make him special and unique and fun. And so that was missing for this one for me. I thought that it was fine though. Obviously, I think we all agree that the end was just like not what we were hoping that it would be. And also just being like, hey, you guys could work on mysteries on the weekend. Here's a slip of paper with money on it. Is like, it's like a, hey, just in case we want to make any more of these, I guess we should set it up. And that didn't feel necessarily all that well thought out. So yeah, just an okay for me, slightly disappointed, but I love that Hallmark has taken the chance. So there you go. Dano?
So to your point, Brand, I think I like this movie more than both of you guys did, first of all. Second of all, to your point, Knives Out is not original. Like, right. Knives Out is based upon a lot of 70s movies that have a similar like vibe to them. And then those movies were all really like Agatha Christie did this, and then there were none. There's a bunch of ripoffs of Agatha Christie out there. Literally movies that are in theaters right now are Agatha Christie novels. This is a version of that. And it is a really solid swing by Hallmark, and they do a lot of things well. Knives Out is distinguished because of Benoit Blanc, and he's amazing. Daniel Craig is amazing in that movie, and it's like a Hercule Poirot type situation, but it's Benoit Blanc, and he does a great job of explaining it. This movie could have used that. I was still very much entertained for the majority of the runtime of this film. So much so that I was trying to guess who did it, and I thought I had guessed correctly who had done it. It made all the sense in the world. And then in the last 5 minutes, John Christian Plummer wrote this. He wrote a lot of the Mystery 101s. He's great. In the last 5 minutes, we find out there's no way we could have figured the mystery out because we didn't know that this dude had been given a terminal diagnosis. Like, that's
they do tell us before the big reveal.
Yeah, but when they're explaining it, they
tell us
earlier
in
the movie.
Yes,
okay.
She gets called. She gets a call that we're privy to.
Okay,
right.
Okay, I missed that part of the movie because that for me,
and the coroner said it.
For me, I was sitting here going, I don't know how much of this I should have been able to put together on my own.
Yeah.
I think for me to set up a whodunit and it be really Hallmark's first movie like this, there may be some big Hallmark fan or historian that's like, no, they've done this before. As long as we've been watching these movies, we've not seen a Hallmark movie like this, where they're all there. You have all the suspects. We're all on an island, and we're there's nowhere to go, and one of them committed murder. To basically make them all possibly the killer, and to do that successfully, which I feel like they did. They gave 4 or 5 people motive, and they did it successfully. It wasn't obviously wrong. Like, obviously it's not this person. And then to not have any of them commit this murder seemed like a cop-out. It seemed very manipulative and like a cop-out. And then the thing at the end where it's like, I'm going to give you this check. All of that was so bad that it kind of ruined the experience for me. I think for over an hour in, this is the best, one of the best, if not the best one that they've done all year. And I was very invested and would watch another one. I hated the last 5 to 8 minutes. And, you know, from a standpoint of Hallmark, that still means it's better than most. I would have this in the top 10 that we've watched this year, even with that last 5 minutes. I thought it did a lot right. The characters were good. Could it have used a Benoit Blanc? Absolutely. Could it have used a fun personality? But they tried to make a few jokes here or there. So it didn't stick the landing at all. But on the way, it was definitely more diverting and entertaining than most of what Hallmark's had to offer.
You like this more than Mystery Ghost?
No. But I like that more than you guys did. That's the
yeah,
best
but I like
mystery.
that better than
That's
this.
the best mystery of the year. That's better than this. But this is second to me. That's the best mystery of the year. This is second, and then Curious Cases, or the Cases of Mystery Lane, is third. And I think you would probably have that first.
I would have that first too.
Yeah. Mystery Lane ahead of both of them.
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
Mystery Lane, Ghost Boy, and then this one.
Yeah, I just think the Ghost one with Tamara was great. Like for what they were trying to do. I think it was really, really solid.
Let's get to all the feels where we talk about what gave us those feels. Brian.
Yeah, this is tough for me. I actually don't even have a note about feels. Nothing stood out feels. What the one thing that when I'm thinking about like what's sticking in my mind was there was the scene on when they went to the beach or the place that was like a mile away where the lady died. What's her name? The main character, the lead gal, the doctor, the detective. She was in like a very nice white dress. And I just kept thinking, like, they're dressed so nice. Like, they're all dressed up so nicely. And so I really liked that they were all dressed real fancy. Like, he was in a tuxedo for a long time. And at first, I'm like, this is distracting. Then I'm like, no, they're like, they're doing it. Like, they're in the mode of, like, we're at a mystery island. Like, we're supposed to be all dressed up fancy. So I like that they were dressed really nicely. Tuxedos and gowns and all that stuff. And, yeah, they did that real nice. And I don't know, maybe
you like they were dressed up fancy.
Yeah, and made me kind of think like, oh, remember when we wore those tuxes for the deckies? You know, like,
yeah.
Looking forward to throwing on a tuxedo again. So they dress real nice.
There you have it. They dress real nice. Brian, back to you.
I have always loved bookshelves that open up.
Ooh, yeah.
And anytime I see one, I think one day, I'm going to have a bookshelf that opens up. I don't know where to because I'm never going to have a house big enough to where it's like a whole nother secret thing. But like maybe that's where I have my candy. I don't know. But
You're gonna hide your
that up,
candy
actually?
yourself?
Candy room?
Could you look that up actually? Like, can you get a fake bookshelf and it's actually candy storage?
You could put anything in it. Really.
I don't think they're going to be like, well, you want to store candy? Absolutely not.
Okay, yeah. Just like bookshelf
I thought
storage.
you wanted to store like secret papers and money. You want to store candy?
Candy.
Well, I don't want anyone to take it.
Yeah, I get it. Look, in the pantry, I have to hide the candy or my kids will take it.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, I had stuff.
Yeah.
Places. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay away from my hot tamales.
Right. It's like, don't touch my stuff.
Yeah.
Like this
Hands
is
off.
my secret stuff. And so I think like anytime I see a bookcase like that, like in this case, it's very elaborate and this leads to a staircase and an
That's
extra
more than
office.
you need.
So
I
much
don't need
candy.
that.
You can
I
hide so
like.
much
I'm
candy.
never.
Secret candy door.
I'm never going to be that type of businessman.
But what happens if your kids figure out the secret candy door? If it's easy for you, then it's easy for somebody else to
You
find.
need what are
It's-
those called? Like traps? Like you need traps.
We
set
need
up.
traps.
You need
bear
traps.
traps.
Like lasers and knives that
Basically,
come down.
a full temple of doom.
No, I mean you
The,
put a code in. You put a code in or something like
that's
something.
not secret. That's just a code.
No, okay, so it's a pull down, and then it
Okay.
says, "Watch the secret code."
Oh, it says it. You
It
want
says
So you
it.
have to say it so somebody can hear you say it, and then steal
No,
it.
but then you blink it. You blink it.
Oh, you
I
like
feel
this?
like
You
you've
do
made.
a-
I think you've made the candy harder for you to access and not more secure.
We should hide candy in our storage room behind that thing we put the cords on.
Oh, that would have been a good
that
one
would've been a
too.
good idea.
Slide it over like a
Yeah.
barn door.
Oh, yeah.
Dang it!
Well, we'll do it somewhere else, but something
And
like
I
that.
just want to get this on the record. We're not doing this.
No, we're not. We would.
If someone comes in here and sees a
Go
bookcase,
ahead and look. You
it's a
won't.
totally normal bookcase.
Yeah.
There's totally
We
normal
read all
books
the
on
time
there.
in here.
I
Yeah.
freaking love reading.
so many readings.
I love physical books.
And don't open those books.
Don't
'cause
open
they're
those
just-
books. They're not hollowed
just
out.
pages.
They're
Storybooks.
not hollowed out books that hold candy in them
Fiction,
themselves.
nonfiction, historical.
Dan, what do you got?
fiction. All the books. We love them. Yeah, this is a weird one, but I appreciated there were several attempts at fairly dark humor that you normally don't see on Hallmark. Particularly when they find the dead bodies and they're doing a bit.
Yeah.
And one of them's actually dead. Like, that's a funny bit.
Yeah.
And that's gallows humor, and you don't see that on Hallmark ever. And I thought they did that pretty successfully throughout the movie, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. That's what I got.
Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with the way, what, and what the Hallmark here on Deck the Hallmark. We're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. What time is it?
What time is it?
It's time for the Wait What. It's where we share the things in this movie. Let's go Wait What.
Yeah,
Brian.
I'll start off. They're all suspects, and the police officer is kind of like, all right, you're all suspects. Don't go anywhere. But they constantly running
can go
into
wherever they want.
They're just running all over the island.
Don't go anywhere outside of a 50 square mile radius.
You can go into the woods.
That's right.
You can light fires and burn stuff, but nothing else.
That's how you know that none of them did it. They're free to move about the entire island,
all over the place. So and the chief of police is spending the weekend on Mystery Island. Like, the chief has nothing else to do.
I didn't think he's not the chief. Is he? She is, but she leaves for a while, right?
She is not there all the time, but she's there a lot.
Yeah, she pops in a few times.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just a slow crime. They do?
It's because the guy who is murdered, he donates a ton of money. To
Oh, high profile case.
So
all
when
right.
she steps off the boat, she's like, "Yeah, I'm here because he's such a big donor."
Okay, that makes sense. I'm an idiot.
Whoa! Come on, buddy. I would never say that about you.
I feel bad for questioning John.
Quick, Aaron, 30 seconds on Taylor Swift. Go.
Oh, quick.
Again? Man. So furthering different day. I'm wasting all my time. So she was there with Donna, his mom.
And that's all the time we have. It's
It's
unbelievable.
10 seconds.
Man.
My last one was there was a scene where they were walking on the beach together.
In our bare feet.
Yep, exactly. And it switched between being like light and then it went.
It's a great song.
Real dark.
Great album.
Yellow
Better
Card,
album.
right?
Yellow Card's Ocean Avenue is the best album of all time.
All time. Look for our podcast.
It's great. It is a great album. They're walking and it's dark, but it's not nighttime yet. And then they switch to a different camera shot and it is nighttime.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to not nighttime. And it's more of a sort of a what the Hallmark, like what happened there? Did they have to throw that in real quick? They obviously ran out of daylight. They had to film. It was just, how did that happen? It's the type of thing. And it was just like, I just was surprised that it was so obvious to me. Maybe nobody else really caught it, but that was I was like, what happened there?
Yeah. The mysteries are always tough with the Wait What's because it's like, what do you do with them?
This one especially so.
My biggest one, and it's the only one that I could really think of, but it is a big one for me, is I do feel like they didn't give the necessary time to the other dead body in this case. The woman that tripped and fell and there's still something there, right? You can't just like talk to the person and go, it was an accident.
Well, at the
and
end,
then that's it.
He says the coroner says it was an accident.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's tough because
Yeah.
she was still there. Like she admits to being there. It's her word against dead body, and I guess the court. Like, but how do you like prove accident or like I let the thing go and made her like I don't know. There was a lot still there that I feel like should have been investigated instead of just being like, hey, he killed himself. Everyone leaves now. I don't know. I felt like there was still something there, but whatever.
Yeah. I only have three. One is this guy's name is Carlos Del Fuego. His name is Carlos Fire. This character's name, his actual name is Carlos Fire. That is wild. And they do. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Correct. Yes, it is. And they bring it back later with a clue, and I'm like, whose name's Carlos Fire? That guy's name is. Our two leads who've decided they want to get to the bottom of this case, instead of going to dinner and interviewing all the suspects, go, we need to solve this. But first, do you want to walk on the beach?
In our bare feet.
Just a quick walk on the beach.
In our bare feet.
Just a quick stroll on the beach.
In our bare feet.
That's right.
It's the best album of all time.
Right. Sleeping all day.
Staying up all night.
And then lastly, at the end,
if I could find you now, things will get better. We could lead this town and run forever. Go ahead, Dan. I know somewhere. Sorry. Go ahead. Take me away, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom,
Nice.
boom, boom,
Thanks
boom.
for the violin.
Yeah. That's what makes that song.
Oh.
You know those guys were just messing around with guitar, and their roommate comes in and goes, "You guys listen to this." That's right. He just went, well, I guess we didn't include Daryl in the band. Did you see that sick solo on the electric violin?
Don't tell him we like it though.
Yeah, everybody just stay calm.
Play cool.
Anybody else have an electric violin? No. He just has been playing it for a year and a half. And they're just like, well, we got to put it in there. Then maybe he'll shut up. Lastly, this guy decides to take over a mystery island that is bankrupt financially. And he says this, I'm not going to change Mystery Island. I'm just going to make it profitable. All right, well, I think you probably have to change it to make it profitable. And here's how he starts. I'm not going to change it. Here's a giant amount of money to write cases for me, police officer and doctor.
Yeah. Money where they don't have.
Yeah,
Well, he
no,
has, but
it's bankrupt.
Yeah.
The island is bankrupt. I'm not going to change Mystery Island. I'm going to make it profitable. And the
Make
way I
it
do that
more poor.
is by paying these people who've never written a case in their life a bunch of money to write a case.
Or debt.
One of the worst endings to one of these mysteries I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean that leads me to the Hallmark is. So I'll just go first.
Please do.
Like, they mentioned that it's $10,000 to come to Mystery Island
a day.
A day.
A
A night, yes.
Have they considered? Hear me out. Just like cut it in half or something. Like that's a really steep price that not many people can afford. Much less like I don't know repeat customers.
You
like
think the way to make more money is to charge half?
To charge less so more people can come and maybe you get like people that come all the time.
Yeah.
My thing is that if you book it correctly, you don't need to write a new case every weekend.
Right. You
Like, what is this writing cases nonsense? Write 4 cases.
Yeah.
For Q1, you do the same case every weekend.
yeah, and you sign up. It's like when you do escape rooms, right?
Yeah.
And you like pick the one that you want. Like
That's
you're
right.
not going to do the same one twice.
Yeah, you just do 4 cases, and then you can charge whatever. I don't like the case writing thing was my what the Hallmark because it's like,
fair.
but I mean, I guess it makes sense at $5,000 each if it's jam packed every weekend.
Yeah.
But what's the max number of people you can bring? 12?
Yeah, I don't know.
$60,000 a night? Is that even covering it? I don't know. I have no idea. Don't have the book.
It's a Mystery Island, Brian.
Yeah. Mine was just the
We'd have to look at the books.
We'd have to look at the book.
And
We're up against it.
We're up against
There's
it.
nothing we can do.
Mr. Fire said that he formed an
Do you
investment
mean
group.
Carlos Fire?
Diego.
Charles Fire. Hi, Fire. Charles Fire. Nice to meet you.
He said he formed an investment group to take a majority stake in this, and I just was like, there's going to be a board, there's going to be approvals. Like you can't just form a group and start buying all the shares without anybody stopping you. So that was my big question. Like there had to, of course, the owner found
Brian's
out.
looked into this.
Yeah,
in regards
I've tried
to this
buy
podcast.
many a
Tried to
majority
buy our
stake.
company
Yeah.
numerous
Yeah,
times.
I'm out here.
I
putting
was
on
under
a
the
fake
impression that
mustache.
if I just say they're mine now,
my shares, I have all the shares.
I bought them.
Because I said so.
Fair and squares.
So that is just a little more that goes on there.
We did everybody. Congratulations. We'll be back tomorrow with a big win calls the heart. Friday Fast X. So much fun going on around here this week, everybody. Stay tuned until then. Maybe this first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast. Is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.